Hello everyone, welcome back to Classic Automotive Services. Right, this week we'll start off with the purple Stag that we had here last weekend, and we've got that all done and finished, and that's back to the customer now. He's over the moon with it. We actually noticed a massive difference in the way it performed and drive, which is always nice to hear. We've got lots of good photographs of all the work we carried out on it. We had to do a lot of stuff with the fuel system. I think we went through quite a lot of it last week. What we had to do with the trailing arm bushes, the fuel system was leaking because the fuel pipe was completely rotten. None of the pipes were ethanol rated. None of the fuel lines actually had clips on them, so the joints were leaking, etc. So then there was a lot of oil leaks as well, which we had to rectify. So on a Stag, that's quite involved with some of them, especially on the side of the block where the oil pump and everything is. To remove the oil pump, you have to drop the exhaust downpipe, and on that side you have to remove the silencers to get the downpipe off as well. So you pretty much have to remove the whole system to be able to get the oil pump off, which is a bit of a pain in the ass. Sometimes you can drop it just enough to get the oil pump out, but it is far easier just to remove the downpipe out of the way, so you can then get on and do the job that you need to be done. So we degreased all the underneath of the car as well, all the gearbox and the engine, mainly so we could see if there was any other leaks that it develops. We done all the ones we could see, but because it was so oily and grimy, there's no guarantee we got every single one unless we do every single gasket and seal on the engine. But hopefully it appeared to be dry after we road tested it. So hopefully that will stay dry, which will please the owner. And that was Wednesday. I finished it up on Wednesday, and he come and picked it up and drove it home. Then also Wednesday we had the owner of the Lotus come down and see it. I think he's happy with it, as he actually hadn't heard it run before Wednesday, not even when he bought it, because obviously if anyone's been following the Lotus, we didn't want to run it for too long because the cam belt was old fuel, etc. So Wednesday was the first time he actually heard the engine fire up. So he's happy. We got a bit of a plan together with how we're going to finish off the rear boot area, as we don't want to hide the engine away, but we do want to hide some of it, as like parts of the gearbox and up the sides, it doesn't look the best, but the main engine does look quite nice. So we've managed to find a engine cover, which the car never had, and we're going to then carpet the sides of that and then cut the top out of it and put a Perspex cover on there. So it's still all sealed in, but when you look through the back window, and when you sat in the car and you look out the back window, you'll be able to see the nice top of the engine. That's what you expect on that type of car, is to be able to walk past and see inside the back and see the engine. So that's what the plan is with that. We've still got to then do the brakes. So probably Tuesday, Wednesday, I'll get it on the ramp, and I'll measure up the pistons on the calipers and see what type of dust seals and that it's got on the calipers. I'll get in touch with Big Red and get the piston and piston and seal kits ordered for the calipers, so we can get the brake calipers rebuilt. All the electrics are now up and running. We've just got to lubricate all the window mechanisms, as they're quite tight and sticky. Get the headlights remounted with a new bush. We're still trying to source one of them. Looks like we might have a few of them made, as I haven't managed to actually source one yet. So if we have one made, we'll have a few made, so we can maybe sell some. What else is there to do on the Lotus? Other than that, it's mainly finishing off jobs on the actual car, washing it, polishing it, and getting it ready to go. So it is pretty close to being done. We have to put some miles on it and make sure it's all good, make sure there's no issues with it, as it hasn't been on the road for quite a long time now. Other than that, that's pretty much there. So it's not a great deal to do on that. It's just mainly we've got to get the last few parts sorted out for it, get on it and get it done. But the last part of the week, I've actually been on the Dolomite Sprint engine. It's under here and it's wrapped up because the block is now all cleaned, painted and ready to assemble. So we'll have a look at this in a second. The gearbox we've now thoroughly degreased and pressure washed. Got all the grime off of it because it was completely black. I'm pretty sure I've got some pictures of that before and after, as I have with all of it. That's got to have new gasket seals put in it. We've got most of them, but now we're at this point, I've decided I'm going to just put all gaskets and seals in it. So I'll order the ones for the front and the remote, and that way it's going to be completely sealed with new gaskets and seals, and it won't leak. So that way hopefully then everything on the car will be completely dry, as we've done the back axle already. I finished off the pipe work on the brake system, other than the engine bay, as obviously we're painting the engine bay. So obviously all the rear brake pipes were done on the axle a couple of weeks ago. I've changed the rear flexi hose. 2 front ones have already been changed not long ago, and they're new along with the calipers. But the brake pipes on the calipers, well, they were replaced with copper, but they look like a complete abomination. All bent, buckled, and just completely wrong shape. Looked a complete mess. So I've remade 2 new front hoses for it on the calipers and fitted them up. So the brake system, once we've got the engine bay painted and the brake pipes in the engine bay done, that's done. That's all sorted out. So mechanically, the Dolomite Sprint isn't that far off once we get the engine sorted out. So we'll have a look at the engine. So we've got the engine all thoroughly cleaned, degreased, inside and out. We've then honed the bores and got a nice finish on the bores. As if anyone remembers, we had issues with some slight scarring in the bores from moisture got in there. But I did mention that before on a previous video, that the bores were actually slightly tight. And you can see that on the pistons. The pistons are just starting to scuff on both sides. So lucky enough it didn't do too many miles. It's only got 19,000 miles on the clock. So otherwise it would have done quite a lot of damage to the pistons and the bores. So we were able to take a couple of thou out of the bores and still keep it in tolerance, which was great. That was enough to get the bores cleaned up and get rid of the scarring that was in them. We've then removed all the core plugs. On these, they don't actually have core plugs in the waterways. They actually have core plugs on the big oil cavity that runs through here where the jack shaft runs. There is no core plugs on the waterways on the block. So we've removed all these so we can then get inside and clean it all. And one thing to note on the Triumph Slant engine and the Stag engines is if you're doing a rebuild, it's critical that you remove the engine backplate, and behind this hole here, which is too small to get the bung out, there is a bolt in the jack shaft. Is it that one or that one? That one. So there is a big bolt in the back of the oil cavity, which you need to remove that because that gets a massive build-up of sludge and grimy grit on it. If you don't, you're wasting your time even cleaning it, as you're going to have debris go around your engine still. So if you look inside inside here, the waterways, inside the core plugs, if the phone will pick it up, you can see it's all nice and clear. I'll grab a light. It is all spotlessly clean inside. No oil residue. It's all completely clean throughout the whole engine. Inside, if I put the light through there, it's all completely clean, as it should be. So that is the engine. I'll flip it over and show the inside as well. So again, inside, all spotlessly clean. We've tapped out every single thread on the whole block so that all the fixings are as it should be. If you don't do that as well, you won't get the correct torque value when you come to torque up a fixing. So every single one is nice. You can wind them all in and out with your fingers, right in, right out as it should be. What else have we done on it? Made sure all the oil galleries are completely clear. The main oil galleries, we've rodded them through with pipe cleaners and solvent and just completely kept going until you can put a white pipe cleaner in there and it comes out and it's still white. And that's how clean an engine block needs to be before you can actually start assembling it. One thing that we did do as well is I've replaced the bolts in the back of the back plate, because we're going to put lots of nice new nuts and bolts on it anyway. I know they want it hidden. Reason for that is a couple of them had actually come loose at some point in the car's history and had an argument with the flywheel. That one, as you can see, if the camera will pick it up, it's actually mushroomed over and you can't get a spanner or a socket on it because it's got a massive lip on it. It's half the size it should be. It come out and it hit the flywheel and done a lot of damage to it. So we've replaced all the bolts with some thread, put them in some thread lock, made sure they're torqued up to the correct spec, so they won't come out again. So I mentioned, I think last week, we've now got the new bearings for it. We've got some Vanderbilt big ends and mains for it, which are good high quality bearing. We've got water pump rebuild kits. We keep them in stock. I've got to order some core plugs, some thrush washers and some piston rings, but that is pretty much the only thing stopping us building the bottom end. Obviously the oil pump's got to be checked, but on the mileage and the wear that this engine actually got in it, I can't see it being an issue anyway, but we'll obviously be stripped and cleaned and checked. But that's pretty much where we're up to with it. I can't really think of much else to do about this engine. Obviously we'll be balancing the pistons and con rods as we do with all of our engines that we build. It's just something that we do to help improve the engine. So for the extra bit of time it takes, it makes a massive difference to the way the engine runs and performs. So yep, other than that, I can't really think of much else what we've got this week. So we'll put all the photographs in of the purple Stag, all the work done on that, and the progress on this Dolomite Sprint engine and gearbox. So on that note, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.